Hey, Mystic Michaela, spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, we are talking about energy eaters. Who are the people in your life that eat your energy? Not just eat it, but sometimes they actually feed your energy so that there's more to harvest and eat. You may have heard these people called energy vampires. This is kind of more. It's a little bit more toxic. But I bet anything you know someone in your life who has been eating your energy. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Well, how many calories is that? Is that caloric?
Is this the keto diet?
That's my first question. Mediterranean? Right. What is this? Is this vegan? I don't know.
Is it high protein?
I don't know.
That's funny.
All right. Well, let's start from the beginning here.
Okay.
So what is your energy?
So your energy is your life force. We all have a life force around us. This entire podcast about your aura, which is your life force in color.
Right.
You know, so it's an extension of you. But it's not, you know, it's not just abundant all the time. Like you have to give it attention. You have to do self-care. You have to heal it. You have to keep up with it. You know, if not, and it's drained, your energy around you is drained. Just like your body can get physically drained if you're doing too much or not sleeping or not eating right or not, you know, doing all that. Your energy body, your life force energy can also get drained. And because of that, when that happens, you're more susceptible to physical problems, mental problems, spiritual problems. So it's kind of like, I think of it as like a little protective bubble around you all the time, like your ozone layer. It's your own personal ozone layer. That's your life force energy.
Okay. So I guess what's the significance, the importance of all this?
So your energetic body, it's your first line of defense, you know? Mm-hmm. So you have to keep it healthy. It filters out a ton of energy around you that you don't want to come near you. So when it's healthy, it does a great job doing this. You know, you might not notice things, or you might know to get rid of certain people in your life, or you don't even entertain certain people in your life. They don't even seem as threats to you. But when it's weakened, or because it's exhausted, just because of even sometimes life or trauma or stress or whatnot, it can break down. And then you can become subject to more energy infiltration. You can become subject to people that are like, ooh, there's an in. I want to come in. I want to pollute their energy. Because your energy can be food for other people. It can be like a drug that they take from. And then you can be like an actual energy drink, like a monster drink, basically, for people who are lacking their own resources, their own ability to make their own light, their own life force healthy. They just take yours. And instead of cultivating it from within themselves, they wait for you to do it. And then they eat it. And if you're not making enough, they have you participate in scenarios where you're giving energy so that they can harvest it later. It's really dramatic, but the way I think of it, it's like fattening your energy for the slaughter. Okay. Like it's kind of like the witch in Hansel and Gretel. You know, she puts them in cages and stuff and feeds them a lot because she's going to eat them later. And that's what people do to you. They keep you in their life.
Okay.
They feed you drama. They feed you attention. They feed you, you know, neediness. And they do this so that you make more energy for them to eat.
All right. So question for you here.
Yeah.
All right. So you just give us a lot of information.
Yes.
I'm kind of trying to think what this is all about. So
okay.
I know you've talked about energy vampires before.
It's a very common thing, yeah.
Right. And I've heard that term before.
Yes.
Now, energy eater.
Yeah.
This one I haven't heard before. This is new. So is there a difference between these two, or is this kind of the same thing?
Yeah, I don't know if other people talk about energy eaters. It's kind of my own thing that I've noticed. Other people might have different words for it or whatever, but this is, to me, it's kind of like from my head, okay? But energy eaters, it's different than vampires. Like, vampires come in and they take what you got, you know? So it's kind of like they come in, you know, they're like, what do you got for me? I'll take that. See ya.
Right.
Energy eaters create a relationship with you so that they can form a sort of pattern to feed and feed and feed you. They feed you so that you're a constant source of energy for them to like farm. So it's kind of like a pig on their farm. Like, you know, so like they're out there feeding you every day.
We're on season 8 of Vampire Diaries.
Right.
So I'll just use this analogy.
Okay.
So when Damon goes and feeds on someone, he just usually throws them into the bushes after he's done.
Yeah.
That's an energy vampire.
Right.
If Damon would then take this body of this person and drain them, but not drain them fully.
Yeah.
And keep them
Kept them around.
half drained or whatever
Yes.
percentage. And they keep them around in their little basement
Yes.
they have in their mansion.
Right.
That would be the energy eater.
Yeah, like they give them an IV, they're giving them the best food.
Okay.
Like, 'cause that, this is like very vampire specific.
Right.
But it would be like if a vampire kept you around and was like, oh, here's your vitamins, here's your high protein diet, because I want you to have, blood for me all the time whenever I want it.
Okay. Now you made me a little, I have to be honest, I'm a little nervous now.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, am I energy eater? Do I eat energy? I don't know. Do we all eat energy?
Well,
yes. Am I an energy eater?
No, okay.
I don't want to be an energy eater.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because literally everyone listening, everyone who listens to Know Your Podcast is usually just like the sweetest of empaths. Yeah. And the first thing they think of, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, I asked someone, to do something yesterday to like hand me my sweater from the chair next to me. Did I eat their energy? Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Because we have a lot of blue, I'm red blue, and now my blue's just taken over.
Yeah.
And we have so many indigos that listen to this podcast.
Right.
Now we're all thinking we're energy eaters.
Not at all. Like so everybody has phases in life where you're going through something. Okay. So maybe you went through something in your life. Maybe there was like a bad time. Or a breakup, or you weren't the best version of yourself for whatever reason. Maybe you were going through a crisis or whatever. That's more like energy vampire stuff.
Okay.
Because I think everyone has it in them, and I have too. When you're going through something tough in your life, sometimes you are a drainer to people around you. But the difference is it's temporary. Energy eaters are doing it on purpose. Okay. I actually got inspired by this, because I've seen this in my life, and I've seen it like from people I do readings on. I'm like, oh my God, that person's like eating your energy. Like
on purpose? Like they know they're doing it, or
a lot of times
they don't know they're doing
energy eaters like know they're doing it, or it's something that is a pattern to them enough where it's like, oh my God, like, do you see what you're doing? It should be obvious to you right now.
Okay.
It's something that they become addicted to, like a poor behavior.
So they know they're hungry.
They know
and they know they're doing it to you.
Yeah, not everybody's like a horrible person.
Right.
Not everyone's like this evil, awful person doing it. Some people are terrible, but some people aren't terrible. They just got into this habit along the way in life where they don't know how to cultivate their own energy, so they just keep people around and eat theirs instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next big question then would be, how do they do it?
So how do they do this? A lot of it's drama. Okay. So if you've ever had a friend being like, oh, did you hear what our mutual friend said about you? There you go. They just fed you. You're like, oh, what? Wait, what'd they say? Like, now you're anxious. Now you're curious. Now you're involved. Now you're emotional.
Okay.
They're eating this right now. Your reaction. They're eating it. Like, there's no reason to tell you that.
So they fed you this.
Yeah.
And now they're getting. Yeah. Like, I don't want to use that term, but they're getting something.
Yeah, they're siphoning your energy off of you.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sometimes it's crisis. My ex is dating my coworker. It's like, okay, like, but it's always crisis. It's always something, or my rent's overdue. I'm broke, or my car's in the shop and I don't know how to get it. There's always, it's not just this happens once in a while.
Right.
It's like a constant barrage of crises.
Right. So
like constantly.
Right. To define, if this is once in a while thing, then that's not
eating energy. That's just life happened and it's okay.
But if your car is constantly.
If you know someone, it's like someone who's constantly like, hey, do you got $20? Hey, can you pick me up? Hey, do you have that? Like that. Right. Guilt. Okay. So anytime, maybe you want to, how do I say, like, there's something going on in your life and you're like, oh, my husband, he took me out for my birthday. That's so nice. You have someone in your life that loves you. That must be really nice. I don't have anyone like that. So all of a sudden, like, now you feel guilty immediately. Like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I said too much. They're eating that energy now. They're eating that. Critique. Okay. Critique is another way to get you. No one else is going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. Okay. But I'm honest because I love you. You don't look good in orange, or something like, like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like everybody else has been saying this. Like, I don't look good in orange. And they're eating this. So anything that gets you like a reaction or you start getting involved, you just know you've been fed something and they're like, and now they're siphoning your reaction from it. Your energy feeds them. And there's no boundaries. They always kind of leave you on edge. So people like this, they text you at 3 a.m. They text you, when they know you're sleeping. They text you on the weekend. They have no respect for your life. Sometimes these people interrupt you a lot when you're talking, or you're talking about yourself, and they always dismiss your needs. So it's always about them. And it's hard because if they're more kind of like a pathetic character, you're like, oh gosh, well, I should help them, or I should listen, or I should feed them my energy because they don't have much else going on, and they are sad, and but you're not helping them.
Okay. So that, and you bring up an interesting point here. Mm-hmm. So you said earlier that these eaters, energy eaters, know that sometimes they know they're doing it.
Yeah.
And then the people that are being fed on, they also sometimes know they're being fed on.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes
you don't, but sometimes
you don't, and then sometimes you do, and you just do it anyway.
And you do it anyway.
Because you feel bad. You're like, well, they don't have a lot going on, or their life's so sad, or they're a relative or something.
So now let's put this into aura color for a second here. So let's say you knew that you were being fed on.
Yeah.
Is there a certain, and I don't want to single out a color, but are these your more deep empath colors?
That are getting fed on?
Yeah. That are getting fed on, but maybe they also know that possibly they're being fed on?
Yeah, yes. Okay, that's a good way. That's actually really good. Let's say that you're a double empath, right? You have, so the empath colors are blue, purple, turquoise, indigo. Let's say you have 2 of those.
Okay.
Most likely, this has happened to you more than other aura combinations. That's 1. And 2, most likely you're more aware of it also. And most likely, once you're aware of it, you're still participating in it. Now, let's say you have a logic and an empath color. This can happen. So let's say you're yellow, blue, or red, purple, or something like that. Chances are this is still happening to you, but you might not care as much. It doesn't affect you as much. Once you figure out that it is, though, you're done.
Right.
That's a big difference. You're like, I'm done. But I do notice that sometimes people with a logic color, when it's and this is because it can be convenient for them to keep participating in the energy exchange here, because they don't want to be bothered with the consequence of ending the relationship. And I'll tell you what I mean. Okay. So let's say and I see this all the time. This is a very specific scenario, but I see this all the time. It's co-parenting. Okay. And let's say you're the stepmom in a situation, your husband's green, blue, you're double empath, and you notice that the ex that we're all co-parenting with is just constantly putting scenarios out there, constant drama, constant stuff, constant all this stuff. And your now husband, the ex's husband, that situation, he puts up a wall and becomes totally immune to it, and you're the one dealing with it. So sometimes logic colors can put a wall up, and they're doing the energy eating thing, but they try to get other people in their periphery. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was very specific, but I see that a lot.
Okay. So, and then the energy eater.
Yeah.
Would you say more than likely has a logic color usually, or could it be a double empath doing the eating as well?
No, I see all aura colors doing this.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and normally I would say the more ones that you're kind of they're the pathetic characters doing it, that you kind of feel more, well, they're more the double empath kind. And the ones who are a little bit more, not to be mean to logic colors, but the ones who are more sinister with it, they got a logic color in there somewhere.
So what you're saying is we can't just blame the green purples for this.
We can't.
Because we usually blame the green purple guys a lot. We put a lot on green purple guys.
Yeah, no.
We can't just blame them for
this is really something that I see across the board. This is a human issue, human condition. And I guess in the future, if people like energy eaters, I could talk about how it looks like in each aura color. But today I just wanted to introduce the idea of people that eat your energy by actually feeding it in order to siphon on purpose, and the relationship is ongoing.
Well, okay. Interesting. What about if you actually did have a need, a desire? Maybe you really truly have something going on. How do they usually react to that?
So
your true needs that you might have.
Oh yeah, dismissal.
Okay.
Guilt, interrupting.
Okay.
And all of us, they'll disappear
or make it about them or something.
Disappear, make it about them.
Yeah.
They're great at it. They're genius at it. It's like playing chess, with a master chess player. You're not gonna win it. They're just so good at just being oh, okay. Well, anyways, by the way, and then. How do you know,
right.
I guess, this is happening to you?
Yes. I mean, that would be the question I would have now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar with this. Maybe someone right now has me tied up in the basement.
Yeah.
And is eating my energy.
Yeah, metaphorically. Yeah.
Metaphorically.
So you'll know because of 3 things.
Or literally, maybe.
What?
Nothing.
I have no idea what you just said, and
Is
I
it,
don't
or
know.
Maybe, or literally. We don't have basements in Florida, so I'm good.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of Hannibal Lecters out there. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And you'll know because of 3 things.
I'm here for the comic relief. Okay. I'm here for the comic relief and to sometimes ask a good question.
Yeah, you ask great questions.
Yeah.
And you're here for the red aura examples, too.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Am I good? All
You're
right.
ready.
This is a constant character trait. It's not just because they're going through something temporarily. There's always something going on. This is a pattern. So this person is patterned at this way. Okay. 2, you are absolutely exhausted after you hang out with them or interact with them. Even reading a text gives you anxiety. And 3, you feel them thinking about you.
Ooh.
You find yourself worried about their perspective all the time.
Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, go into that one a little more. So,
Yeah.
what do you mean you feel? Like you'd actually feel someone thinking about you?
Yeah.
You can.
Everybody does.
I don't.
No, you do.
No.
You might not have awareness. You might think that somebody just popped into your mind and you're not making a connection. But people have tethers. People energetically, we allow every exchange we have, we make you can look at it as like an invisible bridge between anyone you meet and you. Sometimes the bridges are a little more secure and stronger than others. Sometimes they're just kind of faded and not that big a deal, or they're broken or whatever. But when you but these energy eaters, they build, and energy vampires do this too. I think the difference between, a vampire and an eater is that it's more patterned and it's all the time. And they constantly are feeding you things in order to take from you. But anyways, so back to when somebody pops into your head, you're just doing your thing and you're just like, is Julia mad at me? Like that. Or I haven't heard from Julia in a while. Why isn't is Julia okay? Wait, was Julia upset that I said, when you're starting to that's weird.
Okay.
That's not probably from you. You could be picking up them tugging on that thread because they've put so much into the bond between you. They kind of tug on it, and you almost become kind of concerned with them more than yourself, like their feelings or their needs or whatever. It's because of the relationship that they've built with you eating your energy.
Maybe people just don't think about me.
I mean, you could call it.
I don't usually feel that.
Oh, okay. Start paying attention.
Okay.
The next week, when someone pops into your head, you got to stop yourself. You can't be your thoughts. You got to be the observer of your thoughts. So when somebody pops into your head, just this week, I don't care who it is, just be like, why am I thinking of this person?
So you're saying that person was thinking of me?
Yeah. If you have, and then you have to kind of think to yourself, did I do something that reminded me of them? So is it, that's how you know it's from you or not. But if you're just doing something and that person pops into your head, it's possible they were thinking of you. It's not always negative. Sometimes it's a positive
It could be
thing.
anything. So right now I'm going to be thinking of a member of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family. What I want to know,
do you know
which person am I thinking of?
Oh,
so
are you really?
Sure, I'll think of someone.
Well, you should do it right now.
All right, ready. I'm going to think of someone. And then what I want this person to do is when we put up the thread, for this week's episode, say, I'm the one you were thinking of.
Are you clear on it, though?
I got to be real clear, right?
Yeah, do it right now. Send it out.
I got to get into a more meditative
So
state.
you're not doing it.
Oh, I'm going to do it.
You have to do it right now.
Right now. Okay, fine.
Okay, he's doing it, guys. He's making a concentrated face. It's a little disturbing to look at, but it's very sick. Oh, he did it. Oh.
I threw it out there.
I felt it.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
This crossed borders.
Whoa.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Was that a clue?
That's a clue.
Okay.
I gave a clue. I already gave a clue.
You gave a clue?
Yeah.
All right.
I can't say who it is, though.
Okay.
All
But they're
right.
Canadian?
So if you know.
They're Canadian?
Okay, fine. Yes, they're Canadian. Now, that just gave it away. Now,
well, you said it. You said you're across borders.
Well, you don't know that it was Canada.
Well, there's a lot of Canadian MMSF. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It could have been Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
Yeah. It could have been Alaska. Because you
could
would
have
have
been.
crossed the border to Canada.
Exactly. All right. That's right.
So, all right. Anyway.
All right.
So if you know that I was thinking of you, you put that down there.
All right.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get some Miss Michaela's spiritual family stories.
This happens far too often. I'm starving, right? And I don't have the time because I'm so hungry to make the multi-step meal. I know I should. That's already sitting in my fridge, but I don't have to. I can actually eat a well-balanced nutritional meal that hits all my goals. And it is because of Factor. So I love Factor because, listen, when I'm starving, I'm just going to start just noshing on things that aren't great for me. And aren't hitting what I want to hit nutritionally. Like this week, for example, from Factor, I had their roasted garlic chicken with gravy. It has green beans and chive Yukon mash. When I tell you, there's something with Factor, like they make amazing sauces. So whenever I eat a Factor meal and then there's like a gravy or a sauce or something, it is so good. And it's real food. So it's a treat to actually eat it. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether it's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support for strength and workout recovery. I mean, you can check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection for that. And it is delicious because it's fresh, never frozen. There's over 100 rotating weekly meals, including globally inspired flavors like Mediterranean and Asian. So there's always something new to look forward to. And it's ready in 2 minutes. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for everything you love to do this spring. You are not going to regret starting a subscription with Factor. Head to factormeals.com/KYA50 off and use code KYA50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. So apparently our members of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family are being eaten alive.
Yes.
We have a thread. You put a thread up
Right.
for their stories about energy eaters.
Yes.
And we're going to go through some of those. Some people talked about energy vampires in there as well.
Right.
And we did kind of, hopefully we made it clear the difference between the two in the last segment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to it's for me, I've noticed the differentiation, a little bit. Like it's just when somebody keeps it going, it's more kind of an eating thing versus just sucks you dry and moves on. Yeah. It feels more kind of like nefarious when they keep feeding you stuff because you're so good to eat, like that.
I mean, in a way, I guess maybe it's a compliment.
Well, that's the problem with us double empaths. We're like, oh,
that's a compliment. Thank you for eating on me.
Thanks for eating.
This is not overtime, people.
Moving on. All right. So, yes, great thread.
Yes.
Really vulnerable. As always, the MMSF really shows up with their stories. I took a couple. I have Julie first. Okay. So, Julie said, the person I dated before I met my husband. I remember how strong and vibrant I was at the beginning, how he was relentless about getting me to go out with him. And by the end of that relationship, I felt completely depleted and lost. Like I didn't know myself at all when he left me. It was devastating because I'd spent the relationship giving on all my energy to help him, even though he came from a background of money, access, and connections. And I'd been the scrappy, made it to NYC on my own without any of those things. It's like he used up all my light. And towards the end, I had this thought come to me right before he broke up with me. He's going to leave me because I have nothing left to give. It was only a month or so after that when he told me he wasn't in love with me and didn't think he ever would be. I felt thrown away and like I had to start my life all over again. What did I like? What did I want? What were my interests, goals? It was strange. Yet, once he was gone, my light started to come back. A woman I'd met in an event when I was with him showed up months later at a different event when I was with my new boyfriend, now husband. She didn't recognize me at all. When she realized who I was, she looked at me in awe and said I had so much light, and I understood what she meant. I thought that was really interesting, how she understands, like, he ate her light.
He ate the light,
Yeah, and then she said... her talking it over with my husband, her husband said, you dated an energy vampire. I would call it an energy eater in this case.
Right.
I'd never heard that phrase before. Energy vampire. That's exactly what that was. It still haunts me how that relationship derailed me from my own dreams and goals for a time and how long it's taken to truly find my way back to myself.
Right.
Like he was keeping her around and feeding off of her.
Correct.
And
that's the difference.
And she was so depleted, he had to go elsewhere to eat more energy from someone else.
I guess at one point, all your energy is going to be depleted.
Yeah.
And then this energy eater who's
Yeah.
still going to be hungry.
Yeah.
But if they're not getting that out of you anymore,
Yeah.
that's when they break up with you.
Or leave
That's
you.
when they move on.
Yeah.
That's when they're going to leave
Yes.
and go on to the next victim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love that one. That was great.
Yeah. I'm glad she got
Great
out of that.
Yeah, I'm glad she got out of it. I mean, right.
No, I know what you mean. It's
Yeah.
a good example.
Good example, yeah.
All right. Ashley writes, yes, I thought this was so wild. Okay, I had to do this one. I had a roommate in college who quickly became my best friend. We did everything together and felt like the same person. How many experiences have we had like that?
Right.
Then I noticed my things going missing. Would find them in random places. After voicing to her how I didn't know where my things were, I felt crazy. Well, long story short, I found a bin of my stuff in her closet. It had my undergarments, makeup, clothes, etc. I immediately felt like my aura had been sucked dry.
Yeah.
Someone ego built me up and made me believe she was my best friend and then did this to me. She, of course, made up some story to make me feel crazy. And that was the real cherry on top. So she was like making her, like doing head games on her.
Okay.
And then when she was like, where's my lipstick? Where's my underwear? Where's my favorite shirt? She was like, oh, I don't know. It's so weird. And she was just sitting there on her little dorm room bed, just eating it.
Could she...
Like, what a
Could she be
psycho.
like what was that term? Like a kleptomaniac? Where you just like steal everything
Yeah,
for
maybe
no purpose? So
like maybe there's a couple problems with this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she could. Well, two things could be true. Is
Yeah.
What you really say. So maybe yes, she's an energy eater, but she's also an undiagnosed kleptomaniac.
Yeah. That could be it.
Yeah.
As well. So I've never heard like kleptomaniac in such a long time. I feel like that was an insult we used to throw at people
Yeah, you
like when we were
klepto.
kids.
You're a
Are you
klepto.
klepto? We didn't even know what we were saying.
Well, yeah.
But like, how insane is that? And then she would just like watch her like crash out. Like, where is it?
Like, did she do anything with the items? I don't like.
So many questions for Ashley.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Like,
on this
Ashley,
one.
was she wearing them? Like, when you were out of the room, was she putting on your lipstick and like talking to herself?
Right.
Like, what kind of weird crap was happening?
Right. Maybe she was trying to be her,
or like
I
a
don't know.
single white female, like the movie.
a lot
That's
of-
real scary.
Yeah.
There's a lot there, but
There's a
it was
lot
a wild story.
Yeah.
So, but they were best friends. Oh, how weird is that?
Yep.
Okay, this was a short one, but I just loved it. Molly writes, yes, often. One incident was one of my family members. I felt like I talked to her for an hour to encourage her to go for a promotion at work. I felt like I was so positive and encouraging. I could feel her vibes feeling better. And after an hour, she goes, well, I talked myself into it. LOL, biatch, what? I was like, excuse me? I felt like she sucked my energy, then credited herself. Ooh. Then I felt annoyed and in a low vibe. Oh.
Wow.
You ever have somebody like give you like pep talks and then they just like...
So basically what she did to this lady was... Oh, sorry, what's her name again?
Molly.
So she ate from Molly.
Yeah.
And didn't even give her credit.
Yeah, because that would have been at least the mutual... reciprocation here.
Yes.
Like, thank you, Molly.
Like, thank you.
Because of what you said in that hour of your life.
Yeah.
You know, the XYZ, that would have been enough for Molly. And that's not energy vampire. That's not energy eater. You know what I mean? But she just like ate that and sucked it and then like called it her own.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
Gross.
She gave no credit. No credit. Oof.
All right.
Terrible.
Aaron writes... I thought this was really good for like a work situation. Okay. My former business partner. Oh, yeah. Those are like romantic relationships, just as bad sometimes. My former business partner, he used my skills, strategies, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal abilities to build a book of business. Of course, I never received credit for the work I was putting in. He was showered with praise and money for what other people thought he was doing. The more I gave in the name of doing a good job and trying to give back to my employer, the more this individual took. And the worst of all, the more he needed it. I put my heart into everything I do. And in this case, it was used until I had almost nothing left of myself. Eventually, he decided we would build a business together so he could keep me around and eat it. Eat her. Keep me around and still emotionally, professionally, and physically drain me. I narrowly escaped and had to rebuild myself piece by piece. Once did I get out, he threatened me until I had to hire a lawyer to defend my interests. Oh my God, in the business. Of course, he walked away with the business in the end. I feel like I'm the lucky one because I got to rebuild my life without him. You are, because nothing's free. And whatever you had to pay those lawyers, whatever you had to do to get out, whatever, not being around him, that's the investment. Oh my God. He just ate her skills to look better than he was.
But, and that's a great one.
Yeah.
Because, when I think about this and like, I've always wanted to work for myself.
Yeah.
And, sometimes when you're working, and these were partners, but just when people like work for others, you're working for someone else's business.
Yeah.
And this maybe could put all these together. Like when you're working for someone right now probably going to fume about this, but like you're working for them, they are paying you, but they're also eating your energy.
Yes.
If you're working, like they're the owner.
Yeah.
And you're, let's say, the mastermind behind it. You're the workforce.
Yeah.
I know this is not exactly what you're talking about, but this is how like a Red interprets this. Mm-hmm. Like that's bad. Like they're just eating your energy.
Well,
like
it depends what they're getting out of it. Is it, how do I put it? If you're working for someone and it's their dream and their vision and their business, and just stay with me.
Yeah.
But it's a nice environment and you've gotten friendships out of it and you've gotten pay out of it and you've gotten, validation and gratitude out of it, or you feel like you're doing something that feels good to you, then it's a mutual thing. Then they're not eating your energy. Then it's like kind of more like a collective feeding of everybody's energy or whatnot, if that makes sense. I guess. No, of course.
No, I know what you're saying, but is it a fair shake? I don't like. Is it 50-50?
I guess it depends if you align with the vision of where you're working for.
Right. Okay.
Like if you align with that vision, and it feels high vibrational to you,
then
it's something you can kind of connect to and take from. Kind of like a collective cooperative garden, if we're all in there working in it together, and somebody owns it, but we're all working on it together and we all take from it, then it's like a nice little garden. But if someone's garden and you're working in it, but they're the ones that take all the veggies, that's
saying.
Not cool.
Right.
Like if we have a co-op garden, it's a co-op situation. Right. Somebody might own the land and get like more carrots than you, but you still get carrots. Does that make sense? Like that? Yeah. It has to be something like you get from.
All and it's I didn't mean to make it like every scenario where someone works for someone else.
No,
but I can see in many scenarios.
It depends. It depends if it's like this lady, like Aaron was talking about. Obviously, he was just using her to get. I think we saw drivers, drive-ins, and dives the other day.
Right.
We saw this amazing restaurant.
Yeah, there was this and that's what I was actually thinking about.
Yeah, I know you were. Because nobody watches more Guy Fieri than Scott.
Yeah, and like this lady was the chef, and she was making all these incredible dishes, and then someone came in, and another person bought it, and then they took the restaurant over, and she stayed on as their chef.
Yeah,
but it seemed to me, just like looking at her energy, that like they were the ones getting everything from this. Even though there would be nothing without this lady who was making these incredible dishes. Yeah. And if she just said, I'm walking out tomorrow, you have nothing. Your restaurant is done. Yeah. It's finished. You bought crap.
Yeah.
So that's what I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah. And that was.
And like, I'm just. Yeah. I felt like. I guess I was tapping into her energy. Like she's just like being used by these new owners. Right. To have a successful restaurant, but she's the real success.
Yeah, like she should be part owner. She should be. Hopefully, they're paying her a lot. It didn't look like. Just her aura didn't look very.
Her aura didn't look that way.
Her aura looked very like she was working.
And if I'm picking up on that, then it's bad.
It didn't look like that was the situation.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's probably a lot of these situations.
Yeah, is your employer eating your energy?
Is your employer?
Is a great question.
Yeah,
and they might be in a lot of cases.
Yes.
All right, Elizabeth writes. OMG, yes. Oh, here's another coworker one. I had a coworker who would come to my desk and stop me in walkways to mostly complain. It felt worse than normal venting, and I didn't have even a close friendship with this person. The energy I spent resisting the negativity and trying to be sympathetic, maintain kindness was a battle. It always left me sleepy for hours afterward. Like, like when people just kind of use you as their, like they want, guess what? Guess what's happening? Guess what I heard? Guess what email? They kind of want you to get upset so that they can kind of like feed off your your reaction and what, but it's not good for you. That can be like a workplace energy eater situation. They get you going, All right. I have one more.
Okay.
Last one. Jenny writes, wow, I've struggled with language to explain it, but yes, I think I've had someone in my life who does this to me. One of my long-standing friendships is also my most draining relationship. I would give so much love and attention to her, but it was like feeding a black hole or a bottomless pit. And partway through our hangouts, I felt testy and defensive, like I was being internally sucked dry, like being dehydrated, but spiritually. She would even comment on how I was being mean, but honestly, I was just exhausted from endlessly hyping her up and being an empathic support with no end in sight or even energy exchange. Hangouts with her felt good and painful and draining all at once, and it took years to learn that I will never be able to give her enough of the love and accolades she needs. Now, energetically, I put up my barriers and boundaries whenever she visits, and I can still feel her energy trying to work around my attempted barriers and access my inner self and energy. It's wild. I thought she explained that really well. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I hope this helps everybody kind of just, I don't know, narrow the lens. You know, who do we allow in our life?
Kind of know what to be looking out for.
Yeah.
Know the signs of it.
Know the signs.
Know when you're being fed on.
Yes.
Yeah. Or when you're just kind of being used. Like those vampires, like, oh, fed, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And just kind of, what's the difference between a vampire and an eater?
Right.
And they're both not good to have around. But these eaters.
It seems like the eater would be worse because the vampire kind of maybe just could be a quick one.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Well, the vampire is like, you go to Thanksgiving. There's always sad Aunt Sue in the corner. You're like, oh God, who's sitting next to Aunt Sue? And she's always like, my cat died. You know, it's just always like, it's like, sad Aunt Sue.
It seems like,
all right. Like that's like vampire stuff.
The other thing is like, it seems like maybe the vampires are easier to escape, or maybe they're not like that big in your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Like where the eater is like your boyfriend or your husband.
The eater,
or your
like
coworker.
really, they like want you.
Yeah.
You taste good to them.
Yeah.
You tasty. They crave you.
Yeah, you can't get rid of this eater.
Don't be on DoorDash for these people. Yeah. You know, like I think if I think of it that way, it makes me easier to avoid people like this.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel guilty.
But then sometimes you're stuck with you could be stuck with the eater.
Sometimes
it's like, let's say it's your husband, or let's say it is your boss, and you don't want to quit. Is a great. Maybe you do like the job.
Yeah.
You're stuck with the boss or you're the coworker.
Yeah.
You know, so the eater, you could be kind of in a pickle.
Big pickle. And look like a pickle.
Right.
And they want to eat that pickle.
Right. So, yeah. This could, that's a real pickle.
I think this is an ongoing discussion of energy eaters versus energy vampires. And this podcast is for you and about you. And we're so glad you spent some time with us today.